Yo, what is up, guys? SDFC bros coming back at you with another video on a very rainy San Diego night. Again.
Yes.
Again. Carlos, how are we feeling?
Good. Interesting week, interesting weekend we had, especially with some different stuff going on Saturday. I wish I would be a little bit more excited, honestly, but it was good to see the home opener.
Yeah. We'll definitely get into that and all.
How are you feeling?
Oh, well, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. Especially good because we just hit 1,000 followers on Instagram. So, guys, thank you so much for your support. The ones that have been here through the beginning, through them Chrome Ball days and stuff like that.
Real grinding.
Yeah, real OGs over there. But yeah, guys, we really appreciate your guys' support and your love, especially on these most recent kind of videos and posts and everything like that. So we really appreciate you guys. And we just keep going from here, to just put out the best content for you guys and the fans and the club and everything like that. So really appreciate you guys' support. We just keep going. So.
Yeah, we're just excited to keep giving you more content, and every week we do have something new for you guys. So just keep following us, and if at any point you guys want to be in a video, just give us a DM. We're more than happy to interview you guys.
Or just pull up like in the games, and if you guys see us,
say hi, please.
Yeah. So Saturday was the first home game for San Diego FC at Snapdragon Stadium. And safe to say, it was a vibe.
Yeah, it was really amazing. If we're gonna get into it, like the tailgating.
Start off with the tailgating.
Yeah, tailgating was amazing. It was great to have that back in San Diego again. I remember as a little kid, going with my dad to the Chargers game or whatever, and just seeing everybody tailgate. But this was a different atmosphere. A lot of parties going down. It honestly felt like you were having a backyard party at like some Mexican dude's house. Teal's house, with the banda playing and everything. Yeah. But no, if you guys made it into the supporter section, man, they were going crazy.
Yeah, the walk to the stadium.
Yeah, no, it was insane. Everybody was having a good time, enjoying themselves and just really enjoying San Diego. And not to cap it off, we got an amazing sunset while that was going down, so that was pretty good.
That's San Diego culture right there.
Yeah, of course. Sure. But it was honestly really good to see all the supporters get together and after Chrome Ball tour after Chrome Ball tour, things that were said, things that were going, and finally they all just got together and said, it's home time, baby, and go out there and walk. It was an amazing feeling to just be part of it.
Yeah, it was really cool. And then, we were going the walk to the stadium. They had the flares going. They had, all the smoke bombs and stuff like that. So it was really cool. That was my first time doing that, for anything. So that was really interesting because I've never been a part of that. It was something that was really nice because it's like we said in the vlog, and if you guys haven't checked that out, go check it out. It's already uploaded and everything like that. So yeah, it was really interesting to kind of, be in that culture and everything 100%. Like that. And that was like the execution of all the things that the supporter clubs have been kind of working towards. So big shout out to you guys. Saw the TIFO as well. That was pretty cool as well. So that was, it was really dope. Right. Really cool. So let's get into the game itself. So honestly, the game was pretty boring, right? I think it was heavily towards San Diego FC with 71% possession, and the rest was St. Louis. So safe to say that they really didn't do anything this game. They had 2 shots the whole game, none on target, or maybe 1 on target. However, San Diego FC had a boatload of shots on target, 15 to be exact, with 1 on target. So it was very underwhelming in that kind of aspect. But regardless of the fact is, I think the main talking point was the Chucky injury. Yeah. So how do you think that can kind of affect us going forward?
Well, I think it changes the dynamic of how we play completely. I think we really use Chucky on that left wing. And it also, honestly, I was talking to Russell. We were talking to Russell. But I think that Chucky really lets defenders go on him, and so that leaves Andrew Strayer really open. Right. But when Chucky wasn't there anymore, Boateng, the person that came in for him, was not replacing that in any way, and it felt like we were losing our attack. And then Evertsing was playing really far down still, which he shouldn't have been. It should have gone to him going forward now that Chucky's not there. But it's going to be interesting to see how we structure around that, because we're not going to have Chucky for a while.
Right.
And I'd really like to see Everton becoming more of an actual traditional striker position. But I don't know what we're going to do. And I truly don't think Boateng has the potential to hold that left side as much. I don't trust in him, and it did not look like he was giving us anything.
Yeah, me and you, we were going back and forth during the game. You
Yeah,
were saying,
100%.
oh, like not really sure about Boateng and stuff like that. But let's
Unconvinced.
let's kind of look at it, in the reality. This was Boateng's very first game.
Yeah,
right? He didn't play
I
against
agree.
Galaxy, didn't get any minutes, and in around the 30th minute or so, that's when he got subbed in. That's when
Right.
Chucky came out. So it's like this is his first debut for San Diego, home opener. So it's like a lot of emotions going into it. So did Boateng play amazing? No. But I think he put in a decent shift. We kind of know what he's kind of good at, in my opinion. Maybe not so far as like an isolated winger to kind of go more inverted. I think he would be well as kind of like a left-sided midfielder. So if we play that 4-3-3 and let's say De La Torre isn't, up to it or, whatever, I think that Boateng would be best suited on that left center mid spot. Or maybe, if you shift around the formation a little bit, then you can put him as a left mid. So, but I think that this kind of goes into kind of like the in-game tactical changes. Why did Mikey Vadas choose Boateng
Right.
over the likes of like a Maitin, kind of like a more like-for-like sub, someone who's more direct, someone who's going to run at their defenders and challenge and really be a threat towards that box. So that's something that I was kind of, I threw some question marks out there for me, is why aren't we putting someone a little bit more direct? Because Boateng, to your credit, he wasn't being as direct towards the
Right.
goal, and I think that's something that you were kind of...
Right, and I think we just lost everything that we had. Like, it was like nobody knew what to do at that moment. It's not like we were passing and we were still getting everything right, but it just felt like we lost the flair that we were having in the beginning of the game, where it honestly looked like we had really good chances of scoring goals, and then it kind of just like... Yeah, we still had more attacking power, and we were passing around, but it just looked like it wasn't there anymore. And I don't know. And I also didn't see Boateng, like when you see Chucky or Andre or everyone else, it's like every player is running towards that ball. Like they lose it, they go for it. Any time they're pressing, they're attacking. Boateng didn't have that same drive, at least for me. But especially coming in on your 30th minute, like you should be fresh and you should be running crazy. But he wasn't as like wanting to get the ball as everybody else has been. So I think it just changed the way the game played.
Yeah.
But question for you.
Go ahead.
Do you think we would have scored if Chucky still stayed in?
Honestly, yeah. Because I think what's the benefit of having Chucky in is like how you're saying, he's dragging defenders. So he's opening up space for the rest of the team. So it's like, my whole thing is, it's like, how is San Diego FC going to cope with having someone like Chucky not out? And I said under our comment or under our post about the Chucky injury, I think this might be somewhat of a benefit
Yeah, I see where you're
to
coming
San
from.
Diego, to the point where it's like, okay, how are we going to see these guys play without Chucky? Are we going to be a little bit less Chucky dependent? Are we going to kind of, really struggle without him? And me personally, judging off of that second half versus Galaxy, right, Chucky did get subbed off. So we did kind of see San Diego FC kind of play a more offensive style without Chucky being there. So I think we already kind of see what San Diego plays like without Chucky in kind of that offensive third. But these are the games that he's going to be out for us. He's going to be out versus Real Salt Lake this weekend, Columbus at home, Austin away, LAFC at home, which that's going to be a big game.
Big game.
Seattle at home, so we got 2 back-to-back home fixtures, and then Colorado away. So those 2 games versus Seattle, LA, and respectfully, honestly, the next 4 games, bar this one versus Real Salt Lake, Columbus, Austin, LA, and Seattle.
Huge games.
Very, very tough fixtures going forward. So that, I think, is going to really test our quality going forward and kind of to see where San Diego FC is at.
Well, I think it's just a little scary because obviously Chucky's our main guy and stuff.
Sure.
But we kind of knew this going forward because he's really injury prone. Like, and a lot of places that he's been in, he's sat out for the majority of the season. It was really interesting to see how he pulled it because it wasn't like he was doing anything crazy.
Yeah, he stretched out for a ball that he was trying to get after, and then right as soon as you just see him grab the hamstring, and then when you see the player kind of just bend over, and stuff like that. So that's definitely interesting. But kind of just to go off of your point, he was injured at PSV before he came here.
Right.
So it's like, I think I don't think he was like playing through an injury, but I think maybe there was still something kind of lingering. But I don't know. I'm just kind of speculating.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll definitely see how it goes. But you're right. It could either be a hindrance or not. But we do have some good players. It's just I think finding an option for that left wing.
Definitely.
Either that or putting Everton as changing our whole dynamic of how we play.
Yeah. Because he played a lot deeper, which I don't know.
But you're not allowing him to score.
Yeah, I think if you want to maybe get the best out of Everton, then maybe kind of play him kind of more up, right? To, maybe get a header on, or maybe kind of link up play with his back to goal or something like that. If his ball playing ability is, up to standards, which I think it is from what we've kind of seen.
And it makes sense if you're having Dreyer and Chucky on the right and left. But when you don't have them, then it's just
because I think Everton is a real focal point in that attack. So. And, speaking of that, our possession was really nice. I mean, obviously we had far more possession, 70%. And I think this is kind of good where it's like we can control a game without Chucky Lozano on the pitch. So it's like, I think that kind of goes hand in hand, obviously, with our style of play.
Yeah, but I think that's also a hindrance to us is we are just trying to pass instead of just going for it. There's just like that, I get it. Like Mikey Varas is sitting there and saying this is the way we play and we need to pass. But now it feels like there's one or two things that just kind of it's just like, dude, you should have just shot it, or dude, you could have done something else.
Yeah.
And to that point, I think Andres Dreyer didn't have the same game he did.
He seemed a little off.
Right, and I don't know if it was, again, being here on the center stage, but there was some times where the balls would just he would try to do a move and go under and get stuck.
Yeah.
And it was just like, dude, if you just didn't do that and pass or maybe just took a shot, I don't know if we just built him up already so much that he felt like, let's do this. I got to get another goal or what. But I guess we're still settling in. It's just an interesting.
Yeah, I think also having that confidence as well, because it's like the last thing I want is for Dreyer to stop doing those types of things, right? Because it's like that's what makes him a lethal player. Mm-hmm. And that's something that, you don't really kind of get just based off of skill or anything like that. That's just a natural ability to have the confidence to be doing that. So I think with our possession heavy game, I would have liked us to be a little bit more direct. And I think that kind of goes into where San Diego FC kind of looks at when we're making in-game tactical changes. Right. Are we willing to kind of make the right calls? And to be completely honest, this is going to be one of my first kind of negative points here. I don't think we adjusted well tactically in game to kind of switch the tide a little bit. I feel like we kind of just played the same. We kind of made those vertical passes, pass to the wing, maybe pass back in the middle, and then kind of just circulate the ball other side, so on and so forth.
I actually agree with you on that point. Honestly, we went in there and yes, St. Louis was sitting back so far, but we didn't try to make any changes to the fact that they were sitting back that far. Yeah. It really was just well, let's just hope a goal gets in there more than let's make sure a goal gets in there, which was you can do that for 90 minutes, but St. Louis was playing a great defensive game and we were not doing anything. We had to have changed something.
Yeah. And I mean, when you have 15 shots and one is on target, this is simply unacceptable.
Yeah, no, it really is.
I know, we're 2 games in and, it's the first first home game of the season, but it's 15 shots and one's on target. It's this certainly has to be better. I mean, a 6% shot accuracy is nuts. Yeah. So this, on the other hand, has to be way better.
Right.
But the bright side, we keep a clean sheet. Right.
Of
So
course.
it's CJ Dos Santos.
CJ had some good saves.
He's had some pretty good saves.
Yeah.
There was one in the first half that I thought was pretty good. The one of two shots.
The one of two shots. Yeah. But I mean, it was a pretty.
You have to make that save. You have to make that save, or else we're talking about a whole completely different narrative.
Right.
So I think CJ Dos Santos 2 clean sheets in a row. Shout out CJ Dos Santos keeping that clean sheet, and obviously McNair, McVeigh, Negri, and Lawfulsen pretty much did the exact same thing that we saw versus Galaxy. They were composed, they were organized, and I thought they did pretty good to kind of
Negri
shut out.
has some good shouts of running up that field.
Yeah, he's like an inverted fullback.
Yeah, I really enjoyed seeing that. And we could definitely take advantage of that. And honestly, Chucky leaving gave him the ability to do that. So I don't know, but I saw a spark of and he was going through them.
Yeah.
If he didn't get fouled, he was.
Yeah, he had a couple instances where he was making those inverted runs. And he was getting into those kind of dangerous areas, So I think with the absence of Chucky, if we can really rely on Negri to kind of make those inverted runs to get into the final third, to really push the ball forward as fast as we can,
it's going to make a difference.
I think that'll be a huge.
I could even see him bagging a goal. I'm not even going to lie to you.
Yeah. You know what? Negri kind of reminds me of like Teo Hernandez a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Because, very similar, both pretty quick, both, really good at, like I keep saying, those inverted runs, and stuff like that. So kind of reminds me of Teo Hernandez a little bit in that instance. But one of the kind of stains on that night were the chants that happened. Yeah, derogatory, discriminatory, and I think you can speak to it. But, here at SDFC Bros, obviously we condone this sort of thing. This sort of thing shouldn't even be in football in the first place. So kind of as like Mexican kind of culture, heritage in football, where do you kind of like sit on it?
Growing up watching like Mexican soccer and Mexican league soccer, like that's just part of the game. You know what I'm saying? You're doing something to psych out the goalie.
Sure.
And people can take the word anyway, and I understand that. I'm never gonna sit here and say, like if I said something mean to you, I'm not gonna sit there and say, oh, I didn't mean it that way. You felt like it was mean. So I get it, but a lot of fans don't see it that way, and it's just a way of like, psyching out the goalie, a tradition and stuff like that. But the reality is here, FIFA just doesn't want it. MLS doesn't want it, and I think would be a little bit childish to keep just saying no. We're gonna keep doing it and stuff.
Sure.
The word's not worth it enough, and it doesn't really do much anyway. So I think we should just cut it and nip it in the bud. And especially if the club's asking us not to, like we're here to support the club, and we're not trying to make anybody uncomfortable. I think you brought it up too the last time. It's like, do the players even feel like they like it? Are the players even feeling good about it?
Yeah.
And if they're not, then we're not here to just make anything worse.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, like, just kind of for me, kind of, as like an outsider to kind of Mexican football kind of culture, it's like, to me, it's like, I just see, you're trying to rile up the other side and everything like that. However, it's like, when you kind of take it to this level where it's like, okay, may Mexican fans see it as kind of derogatory or some sort of way? No, because I feel like at least 80% of the Mexican fans that kind of have been, in our comment section and stuff like that have said it's like they have no issue with it. But it's like, that's not the point.
Right. MLS has an issue with it. The team has an issue with it. Like, that's it. And I don't think we need to sit here and keep, like I said, keep pretending like.
Yeah. Because like at that point, then it's like, okay, let's say next game we do it. Then, okay, next home game, behind closed doors, they find the club and everything like that. This is the last thing we want to do. So it's like, to your point, if we can just kill it off as early as possible to the point where it's like, I do not want this to stick, like in our club. Like, I don't want this to kind of stain our reputation. I don't want this to kind of be it, whereas like San Diego FC is kind of this type of club.
I'd love to be the bad boy club, though. That'd be really cool.
I mean, the bad boy club kind of has like a nice little, kind of narrative to it.
You know what, you don't tell us what to do, but
sure,
I get it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I definitely agree. But it's like, I think there's a lot more ways to kind of
go about
it, rile up the crowd, or rather the opposition.
The way I like to outweigh some things I do in my life is the risk worth the reward. And honestly, if we're risking something, it's definitely not worth we're not rewarded with anything at that point. So I think we should just get rid of that.
Yeah, I hear it. Yeah, definitely. I definitely concur. So yeah, with loads of shots, heavy attacking emphasis, possession-based style, what would you kind of rate the match?
Oh, we're getting into our ratings now?
Right into the
1 to
ratings.
10. You want to go first, or I'll go first?
You go first. I went first last time.
Yeah, I'm going to go with a 4, man.
4 out of 10.
4 out of 10.
Okay.
I'm not convinced. For me, I like to rate like on a gymnastic scale. If I rate something a 10, like
it's like perfect.
The best. Yeah, there's nothing can beat that, right? So I'm gonna go with a 4. I know it might seem low, but there was so much more we could get. And like you said, 15 shots, 1 on goal is insane. Yeah, we had great passes, great amazing things, but we need to find a way to score. And that's like, if we can't find that, if we can't make adjustments, if we can't score, there's no point of playing.
Right.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Honestly, I did not like, because we're not just rating our performance. I think we're rating the game in general. St. Louis didn't really play very defensively. Yeah. I just played super defensively, not attacking. Kind of boring. Like, there's just no need for that type of game. So I think we're at 4.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to go slightly higher. I'm going to say 5. I think there was some things that I did like. I like how we were possession heavy. We kept the game kind of controlled. Like you said, St. Louis didn't really kind of give us any trouble. If any trouble at all. I think that with the heavy attacking emphasis and kind of the passages of play that you were saying, I think it's great. But then, when you look at kind of the patterns of play, yes, they were there, but I think it was to the point where it was getting a little too obvious how we would
100%.
just constantly switch the play, just circulate it, vertical passes and whatnot. I think that was kind of a hindrance going forward because we were just at that point a little bit too predictable. So I'll say a 5 out of 10 for this one, unfortunately, but great to keep a clean sheet as well. So
always amazing. But.
Yeah, so let's preview our next game versus Real Salt Lake this weekend away from home. So we're gonna be at the watch party, right, at Gas Lamp.
I'm thinking it's gonna be. I don't know if it's gonna be outdoor. It's because they're right next to each other.
Check.
Yeah, they are. They're together, but I just don't know if they're gonna be inside or not.
Yeah.
But either way, catch us there. We'll try to be there.
Yeah, we'll be there.
If you watch this before that, just know that it is gonna be a very packed place. So try to get there early, unless they're doing it outside. But either way, hope to see you guys there. And we're playing against Real Salt Lake.
Yep, Real Salt Lake away from home. So Real Salt Lake currently, after 2 games, they sit in 8th. So in their last 2 MLS games, they lost to San Jose FC 4-0. San Jose Earthquakes 4-0, and then they won versus Seattle Sounders 2-0. So, kind of a mixed bag of kind of games here, but. I mean, against San Jose, probably the most offensive juggernaut in the Western Conference. I mean, 4-0 is a pumping, though.
But I don't think after watching the game, I don't think Real Salt Lake was really, like, as putting as much effort into it as they would. And like you said,
flipping hell. We were bullshitting SD about 17 shots. These all had 22 shots, 7 on target, 63 possession. They lost 4-0.
Yeah, no, San Jose is just attacking crazy. They just know where to be, and I think that's the biggest thing. How many shots did they have against Seattle?
Against Seattle, these lot had 11 shots, 4 on target, with a little bit more, 53% possession.
Just a prediction. Yeah. I just feel like a lot of teams, if they're like mid-table or lower, and they are confident in their attacking, I think they're too afraid of San Diego's major attack, so they're going to be playing defensively against us. Low block. And I don't see this game going super score related or anything like that. Like, I don't think it's going to be like that. I think Real Salt Lake is going to, again, just come out playing a very defensive game and not trying to attack. Just to secure as much points as possible without getting a loss.
Yeah, I mean, I think, again, if San Diego FC plays their game and if Real Salt Lake play against us, where, I mean, they start pressing us and kind of doing the things that we want them to do, then I think this is where you're going to see San Diego really,
100%.
Come into fruition into the match. And this is what we didn't see versus St. Louis. They literally parked the bus, Jose Mourinho style. I felt like I was watching like Inter in 2010, to be honest. And
I feel like it's not going to be different though for Real Salt Lake. I think they're going to
really. You think it's going to be something similar what we see last week?
Like I said, I truly believe that teams are scared to attack us because they don't know how fast. Like, we break so fast, and a lot that we saw in this last game was just like we were on that ball so quickly. And if you're not playing defensively, we will take advantage of you. It seems like.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think again, much like these last 2 games, I think the kind of key component of this game, it's going to be the midfield.
Yeah.
If you can have Yeppe Anibal and Luca De La Torre kind of all on the same page, clicking, linking up play and stuff like that, then this is how we're going to win the game, right? We are Chucky-less. However, I think if we can kind of, capture that lightning in a bottle, how we did in that second half versus Galaxy, this is how we're going to win the game. Counter-attacking football and playing out of the press. And this is how we're going to win. And my whole thing is, even though Real Salt Lake did have a majority share of possession versus Earthquakes versus San Jose, San Jose's a counter-attacking team, clearly. I mean, the stats just show it. I mean, with damn near half of the passes that Real Salt Lake had, they still put in 4 goals. I mean, granted, how you say the goals kind of went in, I don't think they were pretty goals by any means. Weren't the sexiest of all the goals, but what matters, they put the ball in the back of the net. And I think San Diego FC got to learn from our mistakes this last game versus St. Louis. So
score predictions?
So score predictions, I'm going to be a little confident here. I think because of how I seen San Jose kind of take care of them. And then they did lose their last game in the CONCACAF Champions Cup versus Herediano, which, with all due respect, I don't know who these lot are. I think we're going to take care of business. I think we're going to take care of business. I think we're going to do good. And I think CJ Dos Santos keeps another clean sheet. I'm saying 2-0 San Diego FC.
I think CJ Dos Santos does keep another clean sheet. I don't think we go in and take major business, but we do score at least one goal. So 1-0 San Diego FC winning.
Very nice.
Producer Jazz?
Producer Jazz?
Because technically, she didn't get the right answer last time. So.
Yeah, none of us got the right answer.
No.
What are we saying, Producer Jazz?
I'm going to agree with Carlos and say 1-0 STFC. They definitely need to bring it to the table and make up for what I think they missed out on Saturday's game.
Very well said, Producer Jazz.
So let's hope one of us are right.
Yeah, I mean, one of us are right.
At least we have not lost.
We have not lost. We are still undefeated. We're 4th place in the Western Conference right now, which I think if you told San Diego FC fans at the beginning of, or excuse me, at the end of last year that we'd be 4th place after 2 match games beating LA Galaxy, I think we'd take that every day
I
of the
think
week.
we would
so
too.
I think that's a surprise for a lot of us, but a pleasant surprise,
Yeah.
I think, at that. So
I think third game's a charm. Hopefully
Yeah.
we get some more people coming out. And hopefully not having Chucky opens us up a little bit more
Yeah.
and lets other players not work around him and find their own strength. Who would you put as Chucky, replacing Chucky?
I'd like Alex Might in there.
I would like that too.
Like for like sub, very dynamic, very direct, and very offensively present, I feel like. And I mean, we saw in that preseason game versus Phoenix Rising. I know it was behind closed doors, but kind of the footage that we seen, you just seen him running at defenders. So I think that would be really exciting if we can see Alex get that chance. So
Perfect.
Alex, we're rooting for you. But guys, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. What do you guys think about these last couple games for San Diego FC and this most recent one versus St. Louis? What are you guys' thoughts on this Chucky injury and how is it going to affect San Diego FC going forward? Carlos, you got anything else to say?
Of course I do. So I just wanted to give a crazy shout out to San Diego for coming out on that first home match. You made the city proud. I know the team gave us a disappointment a little bit, nothing crazy, 0-0 tie. Hopefully they can bring it for our next game on against Columbus, but truly, you guys made the city proud this weekend. It was great seeing all of you guys out there supporting my love for soccer, supporting the city, and just being out there, families, friends, everybody just there having a good time and showing the world that San Diego really does love soccer. I couldn't have asked for anything better. I hope you guys take care this weekend and we get a win.
Yeah, yes, sir. I think that'll do for this one, guys. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Check us out on our Instagram at SDFC Bros. And as always, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Ciao, ragazzi.